Hello students, welcome to online course of Mechanical Measurement and Metrology. Myself Abhishek Trivedi from Mechanical Engineering Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. We are going to discuss a brief idea about the generalized measurement system. What do you mean by measurement? What is a basic requirement, or we can say what is the basic significance behind the mechanical measuring systems. Today we are going to discuss this kind of topics and why we are using the measurement as a basic concept. The basic significance of the measurement is we have classified the basic requirement of the measurement in the three different categories. The first one, that is to generate the design data. The second one, that is to generate the data in terms of monetary value, and the third one, that is to generate the data to validate the design as well as theories. In the first category, to generate the data for the design, suppose I have to design a car having a 6-cylinder engine, the multi-cylinder engine having the specific dimensions like somewhat length, height and width of the engine has been given, and if I have to design the car body, then what I am going to do, I will just simply take the reference. I will take a reference as the engine dimensions, and by taking the reference as the engine dimension, I will start designing my whole body of the car. So if I have to design a particular component, I will supposed to require some sort of data, and this data generation is being provided by the means of measurement. By taking the measuring, or we can say by measuring the dimensions of the engine, I can say that this particular dimension of the engine, and by using this particular dimension I can measure the particular body, or we can say particular component. Then next is to generate the data in the monetary terms. Suppose a sheet has been given to you having the dimension 1 meter is to 1 meter, and if I am telling you that make a hole of 10 mm each in a radius, or we can say 20 mm diameter hole, you have to punch inside the sheet as maximum as you can possible. You have to punch the hole, but the basic restriction is you have to punch the hole having the radius, or we can say having the diameter of 20 mm each. So by taking the proper measurement, you can make sure that in a particular sheet you can punch a hole in a row as well as you can punch a hole in each column. So what you are supposed to do, you are just measuring the dimension of the sheet, that the sheet is available with 1 meter in the length and 1 meter in the width, and then you are going to design a whole system that by using this particular sheet you can punch the hole, we can say you can punch the hole 5 in a row and as well as 5 in a column. So you can punch the 25 holes in the sheet. So by using the proper dimensioning system, by using the proper measurement, you can say that you can use the material as maximum as possible, and by using the material as maximum as possible, you are reducing the scrap, and once you are starting to reduce the scrap, you are increasing your monetary terms, you are increasing your monetary values. Suppose in a gold market you are supposed to buy some sort of gold, then what is the basic requirement? You have to pay some value and you have to buy some gold. So once you are able to measure the weight of the gold, then and then you are able to pay the proper value in the bartering of the gold. So to provide some sort of money, you are supposed to accept some sort of component having the proper weight or having the proper measuring setup. So to generate this kind of monetary terms, the measurement is a prime requirement. And the third one is to validate the design and the theory. Suppose by taking the calculation, you have designed the number of equipments, or you have designed the number of basic instruments, and if you have to validate those particular equipments, or if you have to validate those particular component with the design or with the theory section, then what you are supposed to do, you are simply measuring that particular dimension and correlate those measurements to the theory. Once you are able to correlate those particular measurement to the theory, you can say that whatever the theoretical aspect has been approached by you is properly accepted and is properly executed in terms of manufacturing sections. So this is the basic requirement, or we can say the basic significance of the measurement. What is the measurement and why the measurement is useful in the mechanical sector, or we can say in any kind of industrial sector. Now we are going to discuss a basic important concept known as generalized measurement system. The diagram shows a generalized measurement system. This is the closed loop diagram in which the different components has been provided. The generalized measurement system provides you the different elements of the measuring system. Suppose you are going to develop a measuring system having the different elements, and once the measuring system has been developed, you have to design a proper measuring instrument. So to develop the proper measuring instrument, you are supposed to require to develop a proper measuring system, and this kind of approach has been taken. Then we are supposed to require a proper generalized system which will fulfill all the elements, or we can say which will fulfill all the basic requirements of the measuring system. And in the generalized measuring system, you are supposed to require some sort of elements, the elements known as the physical system, then the variable conversion element, or we can say the transducers, variable manipulation element, then data transmission element, data processing element, data presentation element, and lastly we are supposed to provide a feedback loop to complete, or we can say to close the cycle. These are the basic element behind the generalized measurement system. Though this is the generalized layout, you can change the position of the element. It means you can shift the conversion element over here, you can change the position of manipulation element over here, you can shift the conversion element over here. Instead of data processing, you can convert this particular position of the conversion element, you can shift the element manipulation element to the preceding of the data processing element. So you can change the any position of any kind of element, but whatever the generalized measurement system has been designed by you, whatever the measuring system has been designed by you, it must fulfill these particular elements. This is the basic requirement behind the development of the measuring system. Remember these words, you are not supposed to use each and every elements. You can remove any sort of element. Suppose you are not required any kind of manipulating device, then you can remove the variable manipulation element. Suppose you are not required the feedback loop, then you can simply eliminate the feedback element. Suppose you have to measure the temperature, then what you are supposed to do, we are taking a basic analog thermometer and you are simply measure the temperature. What we are doing, we are taking a physical system, then by using the physical system, by using the different element, I am going to measure the temperature. Once the measurement of the temperature has been done, I will simply plot the temperature over the indicator. On the indicator we are supposed to find the value of the temperature of the human body. That's it, my requirement is over. What is the basic requirement? The basic requirement is to measure the temperature of the human body. Once the requirement is over, this is not required that you are supposed to use the feedback system. So I am not using this particular feedback system. So generalized measurement system means these are the number of elements. By using this particular number of elements, you can make your own arrangement, you can make your own setup, you can make your own elements. Whatever the elements you are supposed to require, you are simply put in the measurement system. If you are not supposed to require any kind of measuring instrument, you can eliminate those particular elements. But by using these particular elements, you can develop a proper measuring system. Now we are going to discuss each and every element in a very brief aspect. The first one, that is the primary sensing element. The primary sensing element means the quantity under the measurement make a physical contact with the primary sensing element, which is sensitive to measure the values. We have discussed a thermometer, example of the thermometer. Then suppose I have to measure the temperature of the human body. It means what is the basic requirement? We have to measure the quantity named as temperature, and to measure that particular quantity, I have to make a physical contact between the thermometer and the human body. A thermometer, the sensing bulb is provided to the thermometer. That particular sensing bulb is known as a primary sensing element, which is going to make a physical contact with the human body and which is sensitive to the temperature. Once the temperature has been changed, the sensing bulb will automatically change its parameter. So this is known as the primary sensing element. The second one, that is the variable conversion element, or we can say the variable transducer element. Variable conversion, or we can say variable transducer element, will use to convert, or we can say to change the signal from the one physical parameter to the another physical parameter without changing the information content. We are discussing the basic analog thermometer. So once the temperature has been measured, what we are supposed to do, we are simply changing the temperature parameter in terms of the length of the mercury. What we are doing? We are simply changing the one physical entity into the another physical entity. Then the variable conversion element is useful. So variable conversion element means you are supposed to change the one physical form into another physical form without changing any information content. Then the third one, that is variable manipulation element. Variable manipulation element means you are supposed to modify the signal by amplification or by filtration or by any other means. Suppose you are getting some sort of radio frequency. Suppose you are getting some sort of radio frequency and you are not able to read those radio frequency. Then what you are supposed to do? You are using some amplifier, you are using some filtering element, you are using some filtering element, you are using some amplifier element, and by using some sort of elements you can change the radio frequency into the human audible frequencies. So this particular change is known as a variable manipulation element. Whatever the input has been provided, the input is directly multiplied with the constant value and we are getting some sort of output, and the output is we can say output is accessible for the humankind. The next one, that is the data transmission element. What you are doing? You are simply transmit the signal from one location to another location. In the thermometer case, what we have done? We have used a variable conversion element. We have changed the temperature parameter in terms of length of the mercury. Now, once the length of the mercury has been started rising, the mercury will change its original position with some another position. This is known as a data transmission element. What we are supposed to do? We are simply transmitting our information. We are simply transmitting our basic data to the some another location. Suppose in a TV tower, they are catching some sort of radio frequency and they are simply transmitting those particular radio frequency to the direct to home services, or we can say to the our dish antenna, and then we can check the television, and then we can use the television in the different channels. Data processing element, we can modify the data which is displayed or finally recorded. It means we can use any sort of mathematical equation, any sort of mathematical relationship. We can use the subtraction, division, addition, multiplication, or any kind of mathematical equation you can use to process your data element, to make sure that whatever the data has been provided will directly recorded as a final form of output. So this is known as a data processing element. The last but not the least, that is the data presentation element. The data presentation element will provide the recording indication of the output from the data processing element, and it will store or display the output. In the data presentation element, we have the three kind of element. Those are indicator, recorder, and controller. The first one, that is indicator. Indicator means it will show the data transient form, like as we have discussed the basic thermometer. What is available in the thermometer? The display is provided to the thermometer. Once the temperature has been measured, it will show the thermometer temperature over the display unit. Once the display has been shutted off, we have no any record for the measurement. Then the second presentation element, that is the recorder. In the recorder, we are supposed to provide some sort of graph. We are provide to some sort of analytical approach. We are using some analytical approach. We are providing some sort of numerical values, and those particular values are plotted over the paper, and we have a proper recording, or we have a proper record for the output of the data, and we can use those particular output in the future. And the last one, that is the controller. Controller means it will control the output of the data, and once we are using the controller, we are providing a feedback loop. Suppose in the home air conditioning system, we have provided a controller setup. Once the temperature has been sensed, the temperature has been passed through whole cycle of the generalized measurement system, and at the last it will approach the controller unit. Once it will approach the controller unit, controller will check that what is the requirement of the customer. The customer is, suppose customer is required 23 degree Celsius temperature, and if the room temperature is 22 degree Celsius, it will directly generate a feedback loop to the compressor to shut down the compressor for a while. Once the temperature will be rising, the compressor will automatically start because of the controller, and once the whole process has been set it over. So this is the basic generalized measurement system. And the last topic of the generalized measurement system, that is the stages of the generalized measurement system. We have classified the whole generalized measurement system in the three different stages. The first one, or we can say the stage 1, that is input stage, or we can say detector or sensor stage, in which we are going to take some sort of input from the different detectors or the sensors or sensing elements. The second stage, that is the intermediate stage, or we can say the signal conditioning stage, in which we are transferring the signal from one location to another location. We are converting the signal, or we can say we are converting the physical quantity from one to another physical quantity. We are modifying the signal for our basic requirement, as per the basic requirement of ourselves, is known as the intermediate stage. And the last one, that is the output stage, or we can say the data presentation stage, or we can say the readout stage or termination stage. Just because of this stage number 3, we can terminate the cycle of the generalized measurement system. So today we have discussed the basic concept of the measurement, the significance of the measurement in terms of industrial aspects, and then we have started a basic topic, that is the generalized measurement system. Today we are ending our lecture with these particular topics only. From the next lecture we are going to discuss the static characteristics of the measuring instrument. Till then, thank you.